What's going on, Tech Feed? Welcome back to another episode of TechnoBuffalo Driven. I'm your host, John Rettinger. Up this week, we're going to wrap up all the awesome car news that we saw at CES, and I'm going to do it all while having this super sexy, sick voice. This is TechnoBuffalo's Driven. Let's go ahead and get started. Every year in January, the geeks and the nerds of the world gather in Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show. It's a pretty eclectic mix of journalists, enthusiasts, and industry insiders. Coincidentally, it also used to be the same year as the AVN Awards. If you don't know what those are, Google them, but make sure your boss is looking over your shoulder. This year at the show, though, something funny kind of happened. New gadgets weren't really announced, and car companies were stepping up to fill that void. At a show usually dominated by Samsung, LG, and Apple rumors, Ford, Audi, GM, and Kia all had their own booths. They were there to show the newest, biggest, baddest toys they were rocking. As someone who's both a gearhead and an obvious nerd, it was freaking sweet. So let's start with Audi. They had this crazy all-white booth that literally looked like it was something out of the Clockwork Orange. They were showing their baller new RS5 convertible, a gorgeous all-black A7 with matching blacked-out headlights. They're all electric e-tron race car, but the hottest thing they were showing was actually downstairs in a parking garage. Audi was showing off a self-driving car that parks itself. Now I know Ford had some parallel parking cars for years, other car companies had the same, but this tech is totally different. This one's meant to park itself in a parking garage. What they're trying to show is that you can drive your car to work, leave it in the lot, and let it do the hellish job of searching for a spot for you, saving you time and road rage. This is a technology that's really coming, and it's really coming soon. It was awesome to see this thing happen. So aside from cars that freaking drive and park themselves, there's a usual bevy of audio companies seeing how many speakers they could cram into a car. I'm looking at you, JVC and Sony. We saw a matte blue Mercedes CLS that was literally packed to the gills with speakers. As you walk the show floor, you start hearing things bump and bump and bump. It gets louder as you go, and then suddenly they blow a fuse and it all shuts up for a few minutes. But it's incredible to actually see. So Ford was also there showing off their baller new Fusion Energy, and just like GM, they're really pushing API in-dash technology, meaning third-party apps are on their way to My Ford Touch and MyLink. So if you're a developer and you want to make something cool for the in-dash systems, these companies are going to give you the option to do that. So if you like Twitter, Facebook, iHeartRadio, all kinds of other cool apps, they are going to be coming. Now obviously, letting third parties get access to your car is a huge security concern, so they're going to go through various layers of safety testing before Ford or GM actually puts them in their cars. But over the next 6 months to a year, we're going to see a ton of apps show up, essentially opening up an app store in your car. So the world of phones and tablets is really quickly merging with the world of the automobiles. If you caught last week's episode, you know one of the coolest things we saw was QNX for cars. The system itself was pretty cool. We got a full demo and a freaking Bentley Continental. They were showing with a 17-inch DLP screen. Now 17 inches is the new rage in cars. Tesla's putting that thing in their Model S and the soon-to-be-announced Model X. But this was different. I mentioned DLP actually was a screen with a projector in the back pushing out stuff onto it. It was really cool to see, but it was not practical at all. They said multi-touch worked on it, but it didn't work when we tested it, so they turned it off. It was just awesome to see a demonstration. It's really cool to see the marriage of technology and cars. It used to all be about the engine and the engine noise, how many horsepower you could get, but now it's about how much tech you can cram into a car. So if you are a gearhead and looking to get a car in the next few years, it's going to be really awesome to see. Some of the coolest stuff we're seeing, though, that a lot of these cars are actually going to be upgradable. Just like you can upgrade your operating system in your cell phone or tablet, a lot of these cars are offering new and improved features over the lifespan of the car, so what you get when you buy it isn't always what you're going to get when you're done with it. And it's just awesome to see the technology evolving and the cars finally getting smarter and catching up with tablets. Elon Musk once famously said, "It makes no sense that I can't do in my car what I can do on my phone." Looks like other car companies are really taking notice of that. So thank you guys for watching another episode of TechnoBuffalo Driven. I'm your host, John Rettinger. Be sure to subscribe to the Tech Feed for a ton more content right here. I'll be back next week talking the latest and greatest in the world of cars. I'll see you guys in the next video.
And this is really cool. We've got a 17-inch touchscreen, not a traditional touchscreen like you're used to. It's not resistive or capacitive. It's an optical touchscreen.